Over the past few months, we have studied ways in which the FBI have obtained countless methods and systems due to the crimes of serial killers. Over the past several decades, the rise of serial killers in the United States forced the FBI to evolve beyond traditional investigative methods. As violent crimes increased during the 1960s and 1970s, law enforcement could no longer rely solely on basic detective work. Instead, the FBI developed new psychological, technological, and forensic techniques to better understand and capture offenders. Not only do we have new systems to group kills and understand the killer, but the increase of serial killers also pushed for new chemical techniques like fingerprints and genealogy. These changes clearly demonstrate reaction, reform, and revolution within the American law enforcement and had a lasting impact on how crimes are investigated today. One of the most important reforms came from Robert Ressler, who coined the term serial killer and became one of the FBI's first criminal profilers. Alongside Johnny Douglas, Ressler conducted extensive interviews with violent offenders to understand their thought processes, motivations, and patterns of behavior. Through this research, they were able to categorize different types of killers and identify common traits among them. This marked a major shift from focusing only on physical evidence to also examining the psychological aspects of crime. As a result, profiling became a powerful investigative tool, allowing agents to predict future actions and narrow down suspects more effectively. Building on this work, Ressler and Douglas helped develop the VICAP database in 1985. To create this database, Douglas and Ressler interviewed 36 different serial killers to understand their motives and means. This system allowed the law enforcement agencies across the country to share information about violent crimes, making it easier to identify patterns and connections between cases that might otherwise seem unrelated. Prior to this, many investigations were limited by jurisdiction, meaning agencies did not always communicate with one another and criminals moving from state to state evaded police. The creation of VICAP represents a significant reform as it modernized communication and coordination between departments and gave a powerful upper hand to profilers capturing killers. Another key figure was Ann Burgess, whose work focused on victims of violent crimes. By interviewing over 140 victims, Burgess gained insight into trauma, patterns of abuse, and offender behavior. Her research helped law enforcement better understand crimes involving sexual violence and contributed to the development of more accurate offender profiles. In addition, Burgess emphasized the importance of victim support and recovery, expanding the FBI's role beyond simply capturing criminals. She was often not mentioned and not given credit for her work, while Douglas and Ressler got the glory, but her expansive knowledge is what brought us to ours today. She not only cared about convictions, but deeply cared for the victims as well. This shift showed that solving crimes also involved understanding and addressing their human impact. The rise of serial killers also caused widespread fear among the American public, representing a strong reaction. During this time, media coverage of violent crimes increased, and many citizens felt vulnerable in their everyday lives. This fear created pressure on law enforcement agencies to act quickly and effectively, ultimately pushing the FBI to adopt new strategies and technologies. It ignited revolution and reform among the U.S. Because of Bundy's intelligence and how he committed his crimes, the biomarker analysis became a pivotal component of the prosecution's case and helped secure his conviction. He initiated more physical techniques to discover serial killers. Ted Bundy's crimes helped create a reaction to the victims' rights movement in the U.S. His victims were predominantly young women, many of them college students, which exposed how easily predators can exploit age gaps in public safety and community awareness. High-profile cases such as Ted Bundy exposed major weaknesses in traditional investigative methods. Bundy was able to evade capture for years, partly because he left minimal physical evidence and operated across multiple states. His case highlighted the need for improved forensic science and better communication between jurisdictions. As a result, systems like the National Crime Information Center and Combined DNA Index System were developed or expanded. These databases allow law enforcement to share critical information, including criminal records and DNA profiles on a national level. This advancement represents both reform and revolution, as it fundamentally changes how crimes are tracked and solved. Similarly, the case of Wayne Williams demonstrated a turning point in forensic science. In this case, fiber evidence previously considered secondary became a primary form of proof. Investigators were able to match fibers from victims to items in Williams' home and car, directly linking him to multiple crimes. For the first time, fiber evidence was not used to corroborate other evidence, but the opposite. This marked a revolution in how physical evidence was used in court, showing that even small details could play a crucial role in solving cases. Son of Sam is one of the most noticeable killers to cause revolts among the U.S. Because of his fame for his horrific murders, he quickly gained fortune and popularity. Many people revolted over the course of his 2-year trial till the Son of Sam law was passed, basically saying violent criminals cannot gain money from their crimes. Many laws and bills were tried and sometimes passed in favor of different criminals, and what the citizens felt was unfair, such as some murderers getting extended leave or parole. There truly was revolt and reform from the people due to the inferiority of the crimes committed. Mary Vincent was an amazing figure in the victims' right movement. When hitchhiking back home, she was given a ride by Lawrence Singleton. He proceeded to knock her out and assault her. He then chopped off her arms and threw her over a cliff, and despite her injuries, she climbed back up and a car passing by rushed her to the hospital. She quickly worked with the police after medical attention and testified against him. Due to California law, he was only charged with 14 years and got out after 8. When being released, he killed another woman, but during his second murder trial, he got the death penalty. Mary continued to fight for justice, and 2 laws were passed. One to increase California sentencing from 14 years to 25, and for federal funds to be given to states to reincarnate violent criminals after their supposed release. She is an example of all 3 R's.
In addition to forensic advancements, the FBI also reformed its interrogation techniques. This psychological approach was especially effective with individuals who sought control or recognition. Understanding motivations rather than simply accusing suspects allowed investigators to gather more reliable and detailed information. Johnny Douglas additionally created a 7-step process to successfully interrogate a killer. 1. Get ready to pivot or adapt. 2. Body language. 3. No good or bad cop. 4. Converse or interrogate. 5. Don't underestimate. 6. Avoid lying. 7. Work out motivations. You were never trying to go into an interview to win. View it as a nice talk, not a debate. Douglas said that when the killers would blame or joke about the victim, he would laugh with them. It creates trust and connection between the pair. Psychopaths are those who are keen to do violent crime have big egos. They are the alphas, they control the room, and they have the power. It is important to let them keep that mentality while also defending yourself. Be confident in your verbal and body language. He did not use words like rape or murder because they're jarring and sound judgy. As long as you create an environment where they feel safe, they will open up to you. When lying, do not agree or disagree, but politely call them out. Each killer is unique, but to an extent, they'll never feel true empathy. Instead of confronting them, find out what motivates them. More research from DeBurger and Holmes in criminal psychology led to the classification of serial killers into categories such as visionary, mission-oriented, hedonistic, and power control-oriented. These classifications helped investigators recognize patterns in behavior, including similar methods of killing known as MO and the tendency to collect trophies from victims. This deeper understanding of criminal behavior improved the FBI's ability to anticipate actions to prevent future crimes. For visionaries, they believe it's their divine right to kill. This usually occurs from mental illness. Mission-oriented killers simply feel like it's their duty to kill outsides or specific groups of people. Hedonistic killers like the killing. It gives them joy and gratification. Power killers have a deep need to dominate and control their victims. This is like Ted Bundy. Killers like Gary Ridgway created a realization in MOs and how killers will often kill in the same way. Thanks to FBI agents, finding serial killers is a lot simpler but also faster. Without these, more serial killers may be at large and continue to cause harm. The reaction, reform, and revolution of the serial killer phenomenon sparked ways in which serial killers can be defeated. Overall, the serial killer phenomenon led to significant changes in the United States. Public fear created a powerful reaction which pushed the FBI to implement reforms such as criminal profiling, national databases, and improved forensic techniques. These changes ultimately resulted in a revolution in law enforcement, transforming how crimes are investigated and solved. Because of these advancements, identifying and capturing serial offenders has become faster and more effective, contributing to a decline in serial killings since their peak in the 1970s and 80s. The impact of this area continues to shape modern criminal justice practices today.